video chat, book tickets online, online shopping, online audio-visual tutorials, and we had to start with session 2, that is ICT tools. So we had started with the first one, that is mobile phone, how mobile phone is also like a small pocket computer in your pocket, okay, which is also not only used for making calls or sending messages, but it is also used for a whole lot of different types of tasks. Like if you want, you can work on an office package or on an office app on your mobile or your tablet. You can work on any image editing software, okay. You can perform all types of activities which you perform on your computer with your smartphone or tablet. So a tablet PC is slightly larger in size as compared to your smartphone, and it has a comparatively better display as well as battery backup. Some of the default apps which are also known as factory apps, okay, they are, although you can download the apps from Google Play Store or App Store on Apple iPhones, but there are certain apps which are factory apps which are pre-installed, okay. So you can see all such apps over here. These are few of those apps. Then you have a radio. You have a radio app on your mobile phone also, on your smartphone also, in the cars also, okay. You can also have a pocket radio, as you can see over here. So it is used for intercepting radio waves from the radio transmitting station, okay. And you can listen to songs, you can listen to news or live broadcasting of matches, which usually people used to listen in olden days when live television broadcast didn't existed. People used to hook onto the radios to listen to those broadcasts. So this can also be used as a tool for teaching or taking classes in rural areas where internet is usually not an option, or in rural areas as well as inaccessible areas like hilly regions where it is very difficult to get a reception, a proper reception for your network, for your cellular network. In those places also radio can play a major role in imparting education. Television, you can see there are two comparisons, a modern day television, and you can see on the right hand side a very old vintage television which we don't use anymore now. Normally those televisions didn't come with any remote. You had to get up many times and switch on the television and select some channels from there, and it usually had in those days we usually had the option of Doordarshan 1 and Doordarshan 2, DD1 and DD2, okay, and not many other cable television networks. So that is why what happened was people used to simply switch on the television and watch whatever they were offered. But today we have a whole lot of different television channels, okay. The days have passed by, and today we are even shifting from that television, and people are more inclined towards internet web series, okay. So that is becoming even more popular these days. So this television can be used as a medium of education in rural areas also, where it can be placed in a certain place, a public place. Recently these many, some 72,000 television sets were purchased not for education purpose but for the election campaign purpose in Bihar. So in rural areas, in the villages there, they had installed these LED televisions in some places, and people used to gather there and watch it. So that could be used as a very effective tool for education. In classrooms, you can see this is a school in Maharashtra, and they are using television as a means of education in classrooms. You can see how they are doing it. In fact, in some other countries also, they use this method of having television in the classroom. Some important broadcast is going on. Say, you might have noticed that a few these days or a few years ago, or 1 or 2 years ago, when we had teachers day in the school. So normally that day, that was the day when our prime minister, honorable prime minister, he had uh, there was a speech by the prime minister scheduled on that day, not a speech actually, but an interaction with the students. Okay, so that was shown to you, all the students were taken to the school auditorium, and they were made to sit there, and through a projector they were made to see that. Instead of doing, now what happens in case of an auditorium is large and the screen is not too big, so those students who are sitting at the back, they are unable to see the screen. So it is always better. And then last year we had, during Gandhi Jayanti, do you remember, we had to go to school, and the screening of the movie Gandhi was held. So many students who were sitting at the back, they were hardly able to see anything, because normally what happens, the size of the screen reduces in your vision when you are sitting towards the back. So it would have been a better idea had we had this method, that is a television screen in each of the classrooms. All of you would have been seated in the classrooms, and you would have seen everything on the small screen which is there in your classroom itself. Next is email. You can see an animated GIF image of an email. So emails are also used as a method. That is, if teachers want to stay in touch with the students, if we want to stay in touch with others, we sometimes need to send many documents, okay, along with a mail. So for that purpose, we can use email. So that was session 2, where we saw various tools, various ICT tools. So all these are what? These are various ICT tools which can be used for various purposes in our daily life. Next, session 3, basic components of a computer system. Let us see, what are the components? Input devices. In the small image, you can see there are so many different input devices: keyboard, graphic pad, webcam, mouse, scanner, joystick, trackball, digital camera, microphone. All these are used to provide input to the computer. They are used to give data to the computer. First one, keyboard. So you can see an animated image of a keyboard also over here. Keyboard resembles a typewriter. Normally, it is known as a QWERTY or universal keyboard. It comes in two models. Please write it down somewhere. Standard model and enhanced model. The standard model usually has some 83 to 84 keys, whereas enhanced model has 101 or more keys. Please write this down in your copy, students.
Ma'am, written.
Okay, let me get a few more.
Ma'am, written.
Okay, next. Now let us see the keys. These are what? These are cursor control keys. That is, these are the arrow keys. Up, down, left and right. What are these known as? Cursor control keys, and they are basically also known as navigational keys. Just a second, let me switch on my whiteboard here. So cursor control keys are also known as navigational keys. Why navigational keys? Because they are usually used for moving up and down lines in a document, or up and down or left and right cells in a spreadsheet like MS Excel. Okay, so these are used for that purpose. So another name for this, I'm giving it to you. Please write it down. Navigational keys. Please write it down. It is navigational keys. So we have up arrow key, we have down arrow key, we have left, and we have right arrow. And you can also see that these arrow keys are present here also. We just make some settings over here. How? If you press the numlock key, if this, sometimes this, but when you press this numlock key, this button, this LED light, it glows. Okay. So when the light is on, it means that your numlock is on. That is, these keypads will work as your numeric keys, right? And if it is off, it means numlock is off. They will work as your arrow keys, right? If the numlock, if you press this key numlock and this light, it glows, it means the light is on. If the light is on, numeric keypad, this numbers will be active over here. That is, whenever you press these numbers, numbers would be typed. I will show it to you practically, students. Just a second. Let me just. Just wait a second. So I'm just going to show that to you. On my computer, I have right now pressed the numlock key. Okay. I am pressing these keys, these numeric keys over here. I am pressing the numeric keys over here. Nothing is happening. Why? Because right now numlock is off. Again, I am pressing numlock key. And now when I am typing these buttons, you can see that I can actually type numbers. Understood? And if I again, now I'm again pressing numlock key. Now these same keys will act as arrow keys. So I'm pressing the key 4, which has a left arrow. That is, I'm pressing this key over here. I'm pressing the key 4. Okay. So I will be pressing these keys now. You can see over here. This is 6, right? Now if I press enter on this, it won't go to the next line because right now I haven't set it as multi-line. So I'll do that later. So this is how I can use these as cursor control keys also. And if I press numlock, I can use it as numeric keys also. The same keys can be used as cursor control keys also and numeric keys also. So this is it. Now next. So these are the keys which I was talking about. That is 8, 4, 2, and 6. Now the numeric keys, these are your numeric keys. If you press the numlock on, if numlock is on, if this light glows, that means these keys will be the the numeric keys would be activated. Okay, and you can also access numeric keys from these panels. Page up and page down key. These are the page up and page down keys. Normally, why is it used? It is used for many purposes. Moving up the screen or down the screen. Like in MS PowerPoint, if you press page up key, you will go to the slide, the previous slide. Okay, let me show that to you. I have pressed escape right now, and now I am pressing the page up key. So you can see it is moving upwards, showing the previous slides. If I press page down, it is showing the slides which follow, right? Similarly, in other applications like MS Word, it is used to move up and down pages, one page or one screen at a time. Okay, so page up and page down keys are used for that purpose. Next is home and end keys. These are the home and end keys. Now, why home and end keys are used? Let me explain this also. So now home and end keys. Let me show that to you. This is a text which is typed. So I have typed this text. Okay. Now home key. When I press the home key, I can reach the beginning of the text. When I press the end key, I can reach the end of the text. So that is home and end key. Home and end key. Next, caps lock key. Now, why is caps lock key used for? So again, I'll show that to you. One second. Give me a moment, students. Let me copy this thing everywhere. Yes.
Ma'am, today I have given the details of computer. So what I to do?
My dear, I have already sent a detailed message in the WhatsApp group yesterday. So you first go to the WhatsApp group after the class. You open the WhatsApp group, scroll upwards. Okay, come. Are you added in the class 9th IT group?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so you go to that group and I have posted the detailed description there. You can read all that information from there. Okay, read all the information there.
Okay, ma'am.
Just a second, students.
Ma'am,
I was in caps lock. Yes.
ma'am, some network issue. That's why I have rejoined it.
Good that you told me. Now, caps lock key. This is your caps lock key. Why is caps lock key used? So I'm just going to type and show it to you. Now I have pressed caps lock. I type my name. It will be in capital. I press space. Again, I have pressed caps lock. So it is used for toggling between typing in capital letters or small letters. Next, shift key. Why shift key used? Normally it is, just take a look over here. There's a small animated GIF image. So shift key is basically used for this purpose. That is, if I press shift key on my keyboard, if caps lock is not on and if I am pressing shift key, so that key will be pressed as capital. And now I have left the shift key. Now I am typing, all the letters are small, press space, again press shift key. Understood? So shift key is used for, if you use the shift key along with any letter, it will change into capital letters. And not only that, students, if suppose in your document you have now pressed caps lock, that is anything which you type will be typed in caps. But now if you press shift key, so it will just make it the opposite. If caps is on and you are pressing the letters along with shift key, they will be typed in small letters. Okay. Next is control key. Now control key is used for various purposes. In fact, shift key is also used for various other purposes. If you want to select certain things, if you want to select files or folders which are in continuous order, you can use that. Like for example, let me show that to you. Over here, I can use the shift key. I have pressed this last file and I have pressed the shift key and I am going to click on electron. You can see all these files can be selected together. Control key, how can I use the control key? It is also used for various functions. One of those functions is I can keep the control key pressed and I can select individual items from this list which are not close to each other or which are not adjacent to each other. So I can use the control key to make irregular selections, that is non-contiguous selections. Not only this, control key is also used along with various other keys for making interesting shortcut keys, like control C can give you what? Copy. Control V can be used for pasting something. Control X can be used for cutting something. Okay, so using control with other keys can lead you to various shortcuts for various commands. And not only that, control key can also be used for, you had yourself seen in MS Word, that is for increasing or decreasing the if it is used with square brackets, it is can be used for increasing or decreasing the font size. And if control key is pressed while moving the scroller button on my mouse, it can be used for increasing or decreasing the magnification of your page. So control key can be used for a lot many different types of functions in different applications. Understood? Different applications have different functions for control. Next is alternate key. The alt key, it can also be used along with some other keys for performing operations, like alt F4 can close an application. Okay, alt can activate the menu bar or the tabs on your window, and you can use the underline keys. Like for example, let me show that to you in PowerPoint itself. So I'm going to escape over here. Now I'm pressing alt. So when you press alt, you can see that already these menus, these tabs have been activated. You can see small boxes with alphabet. Suppose I press N. So this will open the insert ribbon. Okay. And in this insert ribbon, various commands, they have these alphabets. So if you press any of those alphabets, suppose I am pressing P. So this P will open the insert picture box, insert picture dialog box. Understood? So alt is used for activating these shortcut keys. If you press escape, you can escape this, right? So alt is also used for various such special purposes. We have two alt keys on our keyboard. Same way, enter key. Why is enter key used? So enter key is used for moving to the next line. Although I'll not be able to show it to you in this box over here, but you can always understand what is the task of your enter key. Many a times you might have seen that enter key is used for many purposes, like in Excel. You can use the enter key to go to the next row or the next cell just below the current cell. In MS Word, what do you use the enter key for? To go to the next line. Okay. Sometimes on some of the buttons, if you press enter key, that button will be clicked. Click action will take place on the button. So enter key is also known as return key. And it is used for a specific operation known as carriage return. Okay, please write this down in your copy somewhere. You can use it for carriage return. There are two enter keys on the keyboard, as you can see here. One is here. This is usually given for purposes of convenience during typing. If you are typing something, you can quickly press access enter key using your small little finger of your right hand. Okay, and this key is normally given, this enter key is given for accessing. Yes.
Ma'am, due to some error, my call got disconnected. That is why I rejoined the meeting.
Okay, fine. What's your name?
Ma'am, Rakshit.
Okay, fine. No problem.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I have also, my name is Amar.
Okay, fine.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, in some keyboards there are two alternate keys in which one it is written ALT and the other it is written ALT GR. Ma'am, so what is the difference?
Okay, fine. See, I don't know the meaning of this GR. Thank God that you asked me right now. I'll find out, look into it, and I'll let you know. Okay, even I never paid attention to that. So I'll find out what it could be. See, both alternate keys can be used for different purposes, right? Sometimes some tasks can be performed with the right alternate key and some tasks can be performed with the left one. So I'll find out the meaning of GR, okay, after the class.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So we were talking about carriage return over here. Next, so you can see how we press enter, right? Next is a tab key. Which is the tab key? This is the tab key on your keyboard. Now tab key is used for moving many spaces at once. Like I press tab. Here I won't be able to show it to you. So for that I will be opening Notepad and I'll be showing it over here. If I press tab, you can see at a time so many spaces are printed. Like I type my name here, you can see the collection of 8 spaces over here, a large space. Space is this small. If you collect 8 spaces, you get what? Tab. So tab is normally used for giving large spaces in between words. And not only that, sometimes tab can also be used for, 1 second, did I go to the next one? Sometimes tab can also be used for moving across cells in a table in MS Word. If you have created a table in MS Word, you can go to the next cell, jump to the next cell using tab. You can go to the previous cell by pressing Shift plus tab. Previous cell, Shift plus tab. And next cell, tab. Understood? And you can also use tab for moving across cells in a spreadsheet. Yes. Please mute yourself, students. Why there is so much of disturbance? Rajvardhan, mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Do not unmute yourself without my permission. Or else I'll have to remove you from the meeting.
Ma'am, attendance.
Yes, I have taken. Okay, next is the escape key. Now, escape key, as you have just seen an example before, many a times escaping certain dialog boxes or escaping the escaping the effects of Alt key. Like you had seen earlier that when I press the Alt key, I got some numbers written in black colored boxes below each of the tabs. Okay, so now suppose I want to escape that. I want those boxes to disappear. So I can press the escape key to come out of that mode. Many a times when I'm working with Excel, in Excel, if I'm working on a particular cell, if I'm working in the edit mode of the cell, in order to come out of the edit mode, I can press escape key. Here also in PowerPoint, right now the slideshow is in full view. If I press escape key, it will come out of the presentation. That is, this slideshow will stop and it will come back to its original window. Control escape. Can anyone tell me why control escape is used for? You can use the control escape to start your start menu. Although on our keyboards we have a window button which is used for starting the start menu, but you can also press control and escape key together to start that start menu. Delete and backspace key. Now let us see how delete and backspace key is used. So we can have some text over here, like I'm typing something. I've typed my name. Again, somebody has unmuted. Rajvardhan Singh, why you are unmuting yourself again and again? So now over here, if I press backspace, you can see this is backspace. It is deleting from the right side. If you want to use delete, so suppose I have raised my cursor over here and I have pressed delete. Which character will get deleted? Can you tell me? Delete deletes from the left and backspace deletes from the right. Let me write that for you. Delete deletes from left side and backspace deletes from right side. Okay, you can note this down. So if I have placed the cursor here and now I press delete, you can see it is deleting the cursors from the left side. So that is the difference between delete and backspace. These are the two keys over here, delete and backspace. Next is the insert key, INS. Now this is a very important key, students. Insert key is used for one very important purpose, that is taking the or typing in the overtype mode. Like for example, I have typed Gargi over here, okay, or my name would be distorted very badly, so I'm going to type something else. Maybe I can type so I have typed something. Now I want to change this name. One way is I type the name of the other star and I press delete. Or what I can do is I just place my cursor over here and I'm going to press the insert key on my keyboard. Now it turns into overtype mode. That is, if I type something, it will replace the characters. And this last L you can delete. Understood? If you want to replace characters, you can do that. Like again, I have placed it over here. So I have replaced the characters. Again, when I press insert key, now no longer I'll be able to replace. Now it would be the other characters would be shifted towards the right to make room for the new characters being inserted. Next is print screen. Everybody knows what print screen is. It is used for taking screenshot. Okay, you simply press print screen. I have pressed print screen right now. And now I'm going to open MS Paint. This is MS Paint and here I'm going to press Ctrl V for paste. And you can see that the screen is printed over here. Now, if you want, you can type something over here. This key is used to take a screenshot of the current desktop. Okay, you can make changes in this. You can highlight areas, like I can click on this yellow. Okay, and I can select a size. I can select a circle over here, an ellipse over here, and I can just highlight some portions over here. So this way I can make changes. I can save it by clicking on the save button. And here I'll be saving it in pictures, my screenshot. Press enter and I'll close it, and I'll go back to that folder over here. Go to pictures, and here you can see the screenshot which was taken. We'll just wait. So this is the screenshot which is taken. So I hope you all understand the meaning of the various keys on your keyboard. So this is the highlighted key, that entire
Yes,
keyboard
ma'am.
in a nutshell. So you can see each and every key on the keyboard, because I've tried my best to explain this to you. Some types, basic and extended. So we already saw standard and enhanced. So it's the other name, basic and extended, and some extension for numeric keypad. Usually it is supplied with Apple Mac computer. Some other keyboard types, multimedia keyboard, you can see it is kind of ergonomic also, where left hand after mastering typing, right? So left hand keys are separated here. Mechanical, small rubber switches, you have actual switches. These are basically used for gaming purposes. Wireless, and you get a nice clicking sound over here also. Wireless keyboard, wireless adapter for such keyboards. As you can see over here, this adapter is fit into your desktop. Laptop doesn't need, because laptop already has a wireless and Bluetooth adapter inbuilt. Okay, you need it basically for desktop computers. So you just attach it to the desktop computers, wireless devices along with it. Keyboards, ergonomical key provides some kind of convenience for hands or wrist, as you can see over here, right? So what you can do is you can type area, and that would not hurt your wrist. Virtual keyboard, you already have been using virtual keyboards on your smartphones. Next is mouse. What is mouse? It is a pointing device. Wireless, again you get this wireless. Next you have wired mouse, mechanical mouse, gaming mouse, trackball, stylus, presentation, vertical mouse. Okay, so these are
Ma'am,
different types of mice which are available. Yes.
ma'am, because of network problem, I have to rejoin.
Anyways, doesn't matter. Let's see the anatomy of a mouse.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I have also joined now. Ma'am, I was restarting my laptop. So, ma'am, it takes the time.
Okay. Yes, you were facing some difficulties also for a few days, right, Kushi?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am,
I
which?
saw your messages in the group. You were facing some difficulties regarding Teams
Yes, ma'am. But
earlier
it has,
also.
ma'am, solved it.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay.
Thank you,
So
ma'am.
let's see. So let's see this. This is how a mouse looks like. Okay. So you can see this is the button for left click. This is for right click. It's a wheel for scrolling up and down the page. And there is a cable which connects to the USB port on the computer. There are two types of ports. One of them is a PS2 port, and another one is a USB port. Okay, so it can be used to connect to any of these ports. Normally today we use mouse which connect to a USB port, because that could be attached to n number of devices. You can attach it to your computer, to your laptop. You can also use a USB OTG adapter with your mobile phone and attach it to your mobile phone also, your tablet also. Okay, n number of devices. Then you can see a mechanical mouse. Earlier, when we had a mechanical mouse, it used to have a ball. Nowadays, we don't have this type of mouse. It is kind of obsolete these days. It was usually a mechanical mouse. And the problem with mechanical rubber ball over here. Okay. And this rubber ball needed a very flat surface to work. So it would rotate, and in turn, it would rotate the wheels. Was attached to shafts and wheels which would detect the x and y coordinates, and you know a point is made up of x and y coordinates. These would be processed by your CPU, and that would generate position of pointer on the screen. But today we don't use these much, because today we have switched over to optical mouse, which use an LED light, and it uses a camera and a lens and a mirror. So what happens, that LED light is used, it focused on the surface. Okay, you might have seen on your mouse, if you lift your mouse, you might light glowing. Have you seen that? Yes,
Yes,
students,
ma'am.
you have seen that red colored light, right? So that red colored light, when it is placed on a flat surface, what happens is the surface reflects the light back. So the way in which the surface reflects the light back, it is taken up by a camera. It is recorded, the position is recorded by a camera. Okay, and that camera records the x and y coordinates, that is the points which is processed by your CPU, and this generates, this works with higher precision. Optical mice are even more precise and accurate as compared to mechanical mice. And moreover, these days, the most popular choice is it. So it's reasonable also. You can purchase, can get the full benefit. Next is a joystick. Just see how a joystick works. This is a famous game. As I have purposely taken this screenshot. We used to be people who are 80s born, 80s. We have played this game a lot. Road Rash. Okay, it was a very interesting game where while riding a bike, you could even kick and slap your opponent. Okay, so you can see that how he's using a baton to beat his opponent, right? So it was a very interesting game. So games like these can be controlled using a joystick. As you can see a joystick over here, normally a joystick has up and down. Okay, so wherever you move the stick over here, the stick, wherever you move it, it will activate those switches, and accordingly your character will change position on the screen. Next is the
Ma'am, these
scanner.
games are still in the malls.
Yes, in the malls you will find them, in the gaming arcade and all. You can play them for around an hour or so. Okay, so it was a very very interesting game, and I used to get hooked onto this game like anything. Okay, so they used to provide a lot, and at the end there was a special prize for the one who won the race. Okay, so it was like that kind of a game, like the one who wins the race gets the girl. Okay, so it was something like that. So this game gave a thrilling experience in those days. Now next we have a scanner. Can anyone tell what a scanner is used for? Anyone tell me? It is used for
Scanning.
scanning documents and converting them, recognizing documents and converting them into digital files. Okay, you can slide entire books and pages inside a scanner, it would be scanned, that is, it would be read from top to bottom, and every character, everything, whatever is there on the page will be converted and saved in a form of a digital file on your computer. So it just acts like a photocopier machine. Only thing, the output is saved on the computer, it doesn't come out through the printer. But if you have a scan copier printer all in one device, then you can not only scan, but you can take out a photocopy of it also. Now there are three types of scanners: handheld, flatbed, and drum scanner. So this is a handheld scanner. You can see on the left hand side, you can see this kind of a thing you have seen in malls, shopping malls, okay, in Hypercity, in DB Mall, and many other places, right? You might have seen this in shopping malls and retail outlets, which is used for scanning barcodes on items. And also, by reading the barcodes, what happens is the entire information about that item is updated in the inventory. Inventory is actually, it is the whole record of the complete stock of items. So when this barcode is read, it means this device, sorry, this particular item is sold. So it will get reduced from your inventory, and it also contains information like price of the item. Okay, so that would be used for calculating the total bill at the end. It would be used for generating bill or invoice, and that would be given to the person. So you might have seen that people at the checkout stand in malls and stores, they use this device a lot, and they quickly use it to scan. Just place the item and scan it, and you can see that on the computer screen beside it, the amount gets added to your total bill amount. Then on the right side, you can see a pocket scanner, which can be used for scanning your pages of the book. And these days, there was a Chinese app which was very famous, but nowadays, because of the Indian government's policies, we cannot download that. I have found a very nice alternative to that. Do you remember Cam Scanner?
Yes, ma'am.
So I have found
Yes, ma'am.
an
Yes,
app
ma'am.
which is even better than Cam Scanner, Adobe
Scanner.
Adobe Scan. It's even better, and it automatically
Yes, ma'am,
takes
I
the
use it.
moment. So you just take your camera, or that is your phone, and you just place it, focus it on the page, and you just have to hold still for some seconds, and it will automatically place pointers at the edges of the page and scan the page, right? So you don't have to do anything for that. In Cam Scanner, it was bit inconvenient also. You had to focus it, then you had to tap on the screen to increase the focus, increase the sharpness, and then you had to press the camera capture button. So it is even better than Cam Scanner, right? So apart from that, you get some pocket scanners also. So this is a pocket scanner. You can see it over here. How this pocket scanner works: you just take the scanner and you go on placing it on, you just move it, traverse it through the page, and you have to do it very slowly, because usually these pocket scanners are slower as compared to your flatbed scanners. Then this is a barcode reader. As you can see, barcode readers were created in USA. They were invented in USA, and they, as I already told you, they contain, these barcodes contain the complete information about the item. Now, very interesting thing, QR code scanner, quick response code scanner. Can anyone tell me where was QR first invented? Which country invented this? I want to see how many of you can guess it correctly.
India.
No way.
USA,
No.
China,
No.
Japan.
Yes, it was created first, designed in 1994 for the automotive industry in Japan. It is known as quick response code. It's a type of matrix or barcode and it is used for product time tracking, document management, general marketing. Okay, many a times it is associated with a website or a product, okay, or someone's identification. So the moment you place your QR scanner device on top of the QR code, it will scan the entire code and it will take you or it will redirect you to that website. Understood? And
I have a
you know
doubt.
what language? Yes.
Ma'am, that NCRT notebooks have that QR code. Ma'am, how we can scan that?
For that, you need the appropriate QR code scanning app, right? Your phone will not automatically scan it. It needs an app for scanning that. So I'll do it and one day I'll show it to you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so by scanning that, you can easily be taken to that website. Yes.
Ma'am.
Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, actually, I need to leave. My brother's test is there today.
Okay. Yes. I also have, we have a test right now. So we will close it here, students, and we will continue the discussion of QR code in the next class. Okay. Anyway,
Yes.
so I'm
Thank you, ma'am.
wrapping up.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.